Tonight we're unmasking the Sigma INFJ, a renegade subclass so rare Carl Jung would have needed night vision goggles to spot them. Regular INFJs champion harmony. Sigmas hack the matrix. 10 hidden traits, 1 controversial countdown, and a mirror held right up to the INFJ myth. Ready? Grab your intuition. Let's dive right in. First thing first, we've got tribe seeker versus tribe skipper. Stop pretending every circle deserves you. Most INFJs crave the comfort of belonging, but the Sigma version knows one savage rule. Loyalty without purpose is emotional debt. Regular INFJs are natural tribe seekers. They walk into a room and instantly scan for hugs, inside jokes, and birthday calendars. Harmony feels safe, so they invest time, energy, and secrets just to keep the vibe pleasant. That warmth can turn toxic. The longer you stay locked in a feel-good bubble, the more you mistake group inertia for real progress. Friendships become life support for goals that flatlined years ago. Sigma INFJs are tribe skippers. They enter the same room asking one ruthless question: will this crowd move my mission forward, yes or no? If the answer is no, they ghost before dessert. No guilt, just bandwidth reclaimed. People call Sigmas cold because they quit groups the moment shared values expire. Reality check: clinging to outdated alliances is colder. It keeps everyone stuck at mediocre. Emotional independence isn't selfish, it's insurance. When the project ends or the vibe sours, the Sigma still has momentum, while the tribe seeker is left explaining why they can't leave. If your calendar is packed with relationships that aren't fueling your purpose, you're not kind, you're codependent. Decide whether you're planting roots or dragging anchors, then act like your future depends on the choice, because it does. And next up, mirror counsel versus one-way glass. Stop oversharing with people who turn your feelings into free data. If they're not sharing back, you're not bonding, you're being profiled. Regular INFJs mirror emotions to make people feel safe. They nod, match your tone, and help you breathe again. That's mirror counsel. It's kind, it's warm, and yes, it works. Sigma INFJs do something quieter and sharper. They listen like analysts behind glass. You talk, they study. They decide what to reveal, if anything. That's one-way glass. It isn't cruelty, it's control. Most deep talks are one-sided therapy sessions you give for free. If the other person leaves with clarity and you leave with emptiness, you just paid in energy while they left with strategy. Your need to fill silence is not empathy, it's anxiety. Sigmas let silence do the heavy lifting. When comfort leaves the room, the truth finally shows up. Every secret has a cost. Regular INFJs carry the weight for weeks. Sigma INFJs keep the weight off their system by sharing in slices, on purpose, and only when it moves the mission. Here's the real split. Regular INFJ connection is a circle. We step in together. Sigma INFJ connection is a contract. We collaborate for a goal, then we close the tab. That contract can renew, sure, but only if the goal and the respect stay alive. Want a simple test? After your next deep conversation, ask yourself 2 questions. Do I actually know this person better, or do I just feel like I do? And did I give them a map to my triggers while they gave me a maze? If yes, you were talking to a Sigma, or someone using Sigma rules. This isn't permission to become cold, it's a call to become precise. Share slow, match disclosure with disclosure. If you've offered a childhood story and they've given you a vague vibe and a shrug, stop. You're feeding a black box. Stop handing your power to people who haven't earned it. Guard your bandwidth like money. If a conversation doesn't respect your limits, you don't need to be polite, you need to be done. Your future self will thank you for every boundary you enforce today. If this hit a nerve, good, that means you found a leak. Patch it. Then watch how much calmer, sharper, and braver you feel when you choose who gets the mirror and who stays behind glass. Your story keeps attention when you control the frame. Use tension, not rambling, to make every word count. Third on the list, guiding lantern versus motion-activated beacon. Stop shining your light 24/7. Your constant guidance isn't helping people, it's making them lazy. Regular INFJs act like lanterns, always on, always warm, always available. You explain, you soothe, you stay late. People love you for it, of course they do. Who wouldn't love a free flashlight? Sigma INFJs act like motion-activated beacons, quiet until it matters, then boom. One sharp burst of direction that changes the whole plan. No small talk, no hand-holding. And then the light goes off again. When you're always glowing, people stop looking for their own path. They wait for you to light it. You think you're being kind. You're training dependence. Silence isn't distance. It's strategy. Sigma silence gathers data. Who's bluffing? Who's serious? Where the real problem is. Then the beacon fires once, at the exact angle that moves the whole room. If your advice needs applause to feel useful, it's about your ego, not the outcome. Sigma advice doesn't chase thanks, it chases results. Picture a team meeting. The Lantern INFJ starts early, clarifies roles, eases tension, and keeps the vibe peaceful. Everyone leaves calm, yet the weak plan stays weak. The Sigma INFJ listens, waits, and then drops one sentence. Cut feature B, double budget on A, or we miss the deadline. The room snaps to attention. Decision made. Project saved. Family version. The Lantern sits for hours, mediating every side of the argument. Voices drop, feelings are soothed. But the cycle repeats next month. The Sigma hears it out, names the root problem in one line, sets a boundary, and ends the loop. It stings. It works. Stop being proud of being the one who's always there. Be proud of being the one who moves things forward. Your time, your focus, your nervous system, these are not public utilities. Want a simple rule? Stay dark while the stakes are low. Let people try. Let them stumble. When the moment is truly critical, flash once with a clear directive tied to the goal. Ship X by Friday. Kill Y, I'll review at 5. Then step back. If they need you again in 5 minutes, your flash wasn't specific enough. Self-check for this week. Did your presence reduce panic or enable procrastination? Did your words create action or just softer feelings? If you can't point to a change on the scoreboard, your glow was noise. Be the light that changes direction, not the night light that keeps everyone comfortable. Save your beam for the moments that matter. That's not cold, that's leadership. And fourthly, consensus architect versus rule hacker. Stop asking permission to fix broken systems. If the rule slows the mission, the Sigma INFJ breaks it, then shows results so good the room shuts up. Regular INFJs are consensus architects. They talk to everyone, gather opinions, smooth feelings, and try to change the rule the right way. It's kind, it's careful, and in slow organizations, it's a trap. Sigma INFJs are rule hackers. They read the rule book like source code, find the hidden switch, and ship a better outcome first. Then they explain later, if they have to. Get everyone on board first often means delay until the spark dies. You are protecting harmony while your window of opportunity closes. Committees don't reward bold ideas. They reward ideas that offend no one. Safe ideas don't win markets, customers, or respect. If a rule exists to protect egos instead of results, following it won't make you ethical. It'll make you replaceable. Example at work. The regular INFJ sees a bottleneck. 6 approvals to publish a simple update. They schedule a meeting, draft a polite proposal, and promise training next quarter. The Sigma INFJ spins up a lightweight workflow in a sandbox, runs it with a small user group, and shows a dashboard. We cut turnaround by 62% this week. Want this for the whole team? Decision made in 10 minutes. Why? Because results speak louder than memos. Family version. The regular INFJ waits for a good time to address a bad habit at home. The Sigma INFJ quietly replaces the friction point with a better system, labels, calendar blocks, auto deliveries, and then says, here's how we're doing it from now on. Less debate, more progress. Stop worshipping process. The goal is the goal. You don't need a round table to remove a dumb step. You need courage, a test plan, and receipts. Simple rule for action. If the risk is low and the upside is real, build a small reversible pilot. Show the win. Then invite buy-in. If leadership tries to kill it, ask one clear question. Do you want the old pain or the new result? Make them choose in daylight. Guardrails so you don't become reckless. Don't break laws, don't risk people's safety, don't expose private data. But stop treating every guideline like gospel. Most are placeholders someone forgot to update. Self-check for this week. Did you move the mission or just move calendars around? Did you reduce steps or add slides? If your collaboration produced 0 measurable change, you protected feelings, not outcomes. Be the person who ships the fix, not the person who drafts the 3rd email. Build first, prove it, then talk. That's how a Sigma INFJ earns permission, by making permission irrelevant. Fifthly, empathic healer versus empathic disruptor. Stop trying to be everyone's safe place. Some problems don't need a hug, they need a hard reset. Regular INFJs are empathic healers. You listen, you soothe, you translate feelings into calm. People leave your space lighter because you carried the weight for them. It's noble, it's needed, but it can also trap you. Sigma INFJs are empathic disruptors. They listen just as deeply, then drop one clean, uncomfortable truth that forces action. No hand-holding, no emotional babysitting, no hour-long debrief. It stings, and then it works. Comfort can become a cage. If people always feel better after venting to you, they'll keep venting instead of changing. Your kindness is feeding the loop. Most crises are not, I don't know what to do. They're, I don't want to do the hard thing. A Sigma stops negotiating with the excuse and names the cost out loud. Carrying everyone's pain doesn't make you strong. It makes you slow. Your future can't move if your present is a triage tent. Work example. A teammate spirals after tough feedback. The healer says, that hurt. Let's process. Here's tea. Let's take it step by step. Morale rises, productivity stalls. The disruptor says, ship the revision by 5. Perfection is hiding your progress. I'll review at 4:45. They're not cruel. They're putting a timer on fear. Family example. Your sibling keeps choosing the same chaotic partner. The healer talks for hours, validates, hopes this time will be different. The disruptor says, you like the drama more than the peace. Until you admit that, nothing changes. I'm out of this cycle. The call gets colder, their life gets clearer. Dating example. Someone keeps breadcrumbing you. The healer writes a thoughtful text and waits. The disruptor blocks, moves on, and uses that energy to build a life that attracts better options. Closure is a luxury. Standards are a decision. If you want to help, stop cushioning consequences. Set one boundary that has teeth. Say what needs to be said once, clearly, and let reality do the teaching. If they're serious, they'll act. If they're not, you just saved yourself months. Simple rule. Healer when there's genuine effort, disruptor when there's repeat behavior. If it's the third time, it's not confusion, it's a choice. Treat it like one. Language you can steal. I care about you and I won't sponsor this pattern. Here's the next action. If you won't take it, this conversation ends. Feelings are valid. They're not a plan. Self-check for this week. Did your support create motion or just relief? Did you leave the talk with a deadline, a boundary, or an outcome, or just nicer words for the same problem? Be the person who ends cycles, not the cushion they bounce on. Heal when it builds. Disrupt when it frees. That's not harsh. That's what real care looks like when you respect your time, your energy, and your future. Sixthly, long-form strategist versus rapid prototype strategist. Stop hiding behind planning. If your idea isn't in the world, it's not a vision, it's a fantasy. Regular INFJs are long-form strategists. You map everything before you move. You want the perfect plan, perfect timing, perfect certainty. It feels smart, it feels safe. But safety can smother momentum. Sigma INFJs are rapid prototype strategists. They sketch a simple plan before lunch, launch a tiny version by dinner, and let real feedback shape version 2. It's not recklessness, it's speed with a seatbelt. Perfection is just procrastination wearing a blazer. You're not still researching, you're avoiding the discomfort of being seen starting small. The market pays for results, not for drafts of a plan. A rough solution that solves a problem today beats a flawless blueprint that never ships. You don't learn from thinking about the obstacle. You learn from hitting it, measuring the dent, and adjusting your aim. Work example. Regular INFJ spends 6 weeks building a 40-slide strategy deck. Leadership changes priorities. Deck dies. Sigma INFJ runs a 1-week pilot with 5 real users, returns with numbers. Cut response time 38%, error rate down 21%. Guess whose proposal gets funded? Side project example. Regular writes a 10-chapter course outline, tweaks fonts, buys a new mic, and waits for the right time. Sigma records a scrappy 30-minute workshop, posts it, polls the audience, doubles down on the lesson people actually watched. Course grows from demand, not from guesswork. Build small, test fast, iterate loud. Your first version should make you a little embarrassed and very informed. That's the point. Data beats drama. Simple rules you can steal. Scope like a scientist. One problem, one promise, one metric. Set a deadline that hurts a little. Ship the smallest useful thing, then ask 3 real users. What confused you? What would make this 2x better? What would make this a must-use? Guardrails so you don't crash. Don't gamble with people's safety, privacy, or money you can't afford to lose. Keep experiments reversible. Document what you tried and why. Language you can use this week. Draft done. Pilot, live by Friday. Version 0.1 shipped. Feedback form in bio. We'll fix it live. Self-check for this week. Did you move an idea into the world or just move it to another tab? Did you collect real feedback or just collect more notes? Ship first, polish after. Let reality be your co-author. If you're waiting for perfect, you're waiting to be average. Build now. Iterate in public. That's how Sigma INFJs turn intuition into impact. And 7thly, identity quilt versus identity firewall. Stop handing strangers the keys to your mind. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your story. Regular INFJs build an identity quilt. You share favorite songs, childhood stories, the way your coffee has to taste. You do it to build trust. It feels warm, human, honest. Sigma INFJs install an identity firewall. They share only what the moment requires. Name, role, mission, no extra files. If the context changes, access ends. Not cold, controlled. Oversharing is not intimacy, it's exposure. If the other person hasn't earned responsibility for your truth, you're giving them free ammo. Most people don't need your backstory. They need your boundary. Clarity protects you better than a 10-minute explanation ever will. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's maintenance. Your energy lasts longer when you stop running tech support for people who only want entertainment. Work example. A co-worker asks, "Rough weekend?" The quilt answer tells a whole tale that becomes office gossip by lunch. The firewall answer is simple. "Handled some things, I'm good. Let's talk deadlines." Less drama, more control. Friend example. A new friend wants the real you on week 1. Quilt mode spills everything. Firewall mode shares one honest slice that fits the moment, then watches how they handle it. If they respect it, access grows. If they joke or judge, door closed. Dating example. Someone love bombs you and asks deep questions fast. Quilt mode feels seen and starts confessing. Firewall mode sets pace. I like getting to know you slowly. Real ones lean in. Users vanish. Stop treating your life like a free museum. Make it a gallery with tickets. People can look, but only a few get the private tour. That's not arrogance. That's curation. Simple rules you can use this week. Share in layers, not dumps. Match disclosure with disclosure. If they give you a headline, don't give them a novel. When in doubt, keep it short and kind. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. Language you can steal. That's personal and I keep that close. Here's what's relevant for the project. I share more with time and trust. Self-check for tonight. Scroll your last 5 chats. Did you offer real connection or just free content? Did you leave the conversation lighter or with a vulnerability hangover? Be the editor of your identity, not the intern spilling drafts. Quilt when someone has earned it. Firewall when they haven't. Protect your energy, protect your story, protect your future. That's how a Sigma INFJ stays kind without becoming a public diary. 8thly, harmony buffer versus controlled shockwave. Stop bragging about keeping the peace. If the truth can't breathe in your presence, you're not a peacemaker, you're a silence maker. Regular INFJs act like harmony buffers. You soften the room, smooth the edges, and keep everyone calm. Meetings end without tears. Group chat stays friendly. But the real issues stay hidden under the rug you just straightened. Sigma INFJs act like controlled shockwaves. They let the room talk, spot the lie no one wants to touch, and drop one clean question that forces action. What's the real problem here? It's not drama. It's diagnosis. Calm is not the same as healthy. A quiet room can still be full of avoidance. If nothing changes after your peace talk, you protected comfort, not progress. Your fear of conflict is costing you respect. People may thank you for being nice, but the team remembers the person who made the hard decision, not the person who made the vibe softer. Hard feelings don't break good relationships. Hidden resentments do. The longer you buffer, the bigger the explosion later. Work example. The buffer hears vague arguments about capacity and suggests a follow-up next week. The shockwave asks, whose task is blocking the launch and what gets cut today to ship on Friday? 10 seconds of discomfort, then a real plan. Family example. The buffer keeps translating between siblings every holiday. Everyone behaves for one weekend, then resets to chaos. The Shockwave says, if there's yelling, I leave. If you want me here, we set a rule now. One boundary, cycle ends. Friends example. The buffer lets the group avoid calling out the chronic flaker. The Shockwave says, we book without you. If you show, great. If not, plans still happen. Friendship survives or it doesn't, but your time stops getting wasted. Stop worshipping nice. Choose useful. You don't need to be loud, you need to be precise. Ask the question everyone is dodging. Name the trade-off. Set the line. Simple rules you can use this week. If it's the third meeting about the same issue, raise the standard. What decision are we making and by when? Replace soft talk with hard facts. We have X hours, Y budget, Z people, what changes now? End with an action, not a feeling. Language you can steal. Peace without truth is pretend. I'm not here to soothe, I'm here to solve. Let's pick the pain we want. A short, honest one now, or a long, quiet one later. Self-check for tonight. Did your presence move something forward, or just move the tension into your body? If you can't point to a decision, boundary, or result, you buffered. Final hit. Be kind, but stop being a cushion. If a small quake today prevents a bigger disaster tomorrow, push the button. That's not being harsh, that's being responsible. Ninthly, purpose-driven routine versus purpose-driven chaos. Stop worshipping morning routines like religion. A perfect ritual won't save a pointless day. Build a life that deserves your energy first, then pick the schedule. Regular INFJs run on purpose-driven routine. Same wake-up, same journal, same deep work block. It's calm, focused, and predictable. It works, until the plan becomes a prison. Sigma INFJs run on purpose-driven chaos. Quiet weeks of isolation, then a 72-hour sprint that changes the whole game. It looks messy from the outside, but under the hood it's targeted, timed, and tied to a clear outcome. A beautiful routine can hide a boring life. If your habits are flawless, but your results are flat, you're polishing gears that aren't connected to anything. Waiting to feel ready is a delay tactic. You don't need a new planner, you need a deadline that makes your hands sweat. Consistency can be cowardice in disguise. Repeating what's comfortable is not discipline, it's fear with a checklist. Work example, routine mode, 6 perfect Pomodoros, inbox 0, and a to-do list that never tackles the one task that would actually move revenue. Chaos mode, block out 2 days, kill distractions, ship the scrappy demo, and get real feedback by Friday. One creates order, the other creates momentum. Life example, routine mode, gym at 7, oatmeal at 8, scroll at 9, complain at 10. Chaos mode, skip the script, take the uncomfortable meeting, pitch the project, risk the no. Your heart rate goes up, so does your life. Simple rule for the week. Keep anchors, not chains. Keep 2-3 non-negotiables. Sleep window, water, 60 minutes of focused work. Everything else flexes around the mission of the day. When the mission changes, the routine changes with it. How to run Sigma chaos without burning out. Time box sprints, 24-72 hours. Define one outcome that proves progress. Recover on purpose, walks, hydration, early lights out, so the next strike hits just as hard. Language you can use. This week is for shipping, not polishing. 2-day sprint, 1 measurable win. If it doesn't move the goal, it moves off the calendar. Self-check tonight. Look at your schedule. Is it protecting your comfort or advancing your purpose? Circle the one action that scares you and schedule it in the next 48 hours. If your plan survives that, it's real. If it crumbles, you are hiding. Be disciplined about outcomes, flexible about paths. Routine is the engine, chaos is the turbo. Use both. When the goal is clear, dare to break your own pattern, because progress is a louder rhythm than perfection. Last but not least, visible advocate versus invisible architect. Stop chasing the spotlight for validation. If you need applause to feel useful, you're not leading, you're performing. Regular INFJs are visible advocates. You speak up, rally people, and carry the flag where everyone can see it. That matters. Movements need faces. But the stage has a price. Constant eyes, constant pressure, and less time to actually build the thing. Sigma INFJs are invisible architects. They design the plan off stage, hand it to the right people, and walk away before the cameras turn on. They don't need credit, they need the result. No noise, just impact. public praise can become a drug. You'll start picking actions that get claps instead of actions that fix problems. That's not purpose, that's content. Hiding from the spotlight can be fear dressed up as humility. If your idea dies because you refused to speak once, that's not noble, it's neglect. Credit is a currency, spend it on leverage, not ego. Sometimes you take the mic to protect the mission, sometimes you give it away to keep the mission clean. Work example. Visible advocate mode. You host the all hands, calm the team, and publish the update. Trust rises, but your week disappears into comms. Invisible architect mode. You map the root issue, rewrite the workflow, brief one trusted operator, and let them deliver the win. The fix ships while you start the next one. Life example. Advocate mode. You're the friend who organizes every plan, every time. People rely on you, but you're exhausted. Architect mode. You set the system, group calendar, clear rules, automatic reservations, and stop being the mule. Plans still happen and you get your time back. Decide where your voice is high ROI. If speaking moves the mission faster, speak. If building moves it faster, build. You're not obligated to be visible, only effective. Simple rules for the week. Pick one mission that matters. Choose your role on purpose, face or builder. If you're the face, set tight boundaries and delegate execution. If you're the builder, choose a proxy who can communicate cleanly and take heat. Either way, define a win you can measure in 7 days, language you can use. I'll take the stage once the system is ready. I'll build the system, you take the stage. Credit goes to the team, accountability stays with me. Guardrails so you don't drift. If you're always in front, schedule offstage hours for deep work. If you're always offstage, schedule one visible moment per project so your ideas don't get rewritten by louder voices. Self-check tonight. Are you chasing attention or creating outcomes? If you disappeared for a month, would your work keep working? Or would the whole thing collapse without your speeches? Be remembered for what runs, not just for what trends. Take the mic when it protects the mission. Drop the mic when the system can speak for itself. That's how a Sigma INFJ turns influence into infrastructure and leaves the world different even when no one knows their name. So there you have it. That's it for this video, and I see you in the next one.